Okay, so I'm going to make a real quick explanation of blocking. I'm going to use the example I use for my stats classes when I used to teach it. So let's say I've got I want to experiment on these types of seeds. And I've got this new breed of seed that's supposed to grow better corn. And the plot of land, well, let me back up a second. So I have the new breed of seed and I have the old breed of seed. For me to control this, what I want to compare are the results between the old seed and the new seed. What I need to control for are those variables that could affect it. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure all of the seeds are planted at the same depth. I want to make sure the soil is probably the same for both types of seeds. I don't want to plant in one field and then 30 miles away plant another field. I want them near each other if I can. So I've gotten my farmer land here set up. And my land on the west side has some trees, and on the east side has a river. So I can't control that. That's just how that is. I can't change that. I can't say, well, divert the river away. So I can't control it, but I can control for it. Because if you, a little bit about geology, water flows downhill. If there's a river on this side, going this way is uphill, or at least it should be. So what I need to do is also divide this field now. Part of this field is going to get my new seed and part of it's going to get my old seed. So I want to block on the variables that could affect the outcome. So let's say I cordon off my field this way. Okay. And on this side, I'm going to plant my new seed. On this side, the old seed. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. But no, I don't want to do this. Because first of all, these trees on the west side, in the afternoon, the sun's going to come down, hit those trees, and it's going to shade this part of the field. But the other thing is I have this river on the east side. Since water flows downhill, then what's going to happen is when it rains, the water is going to flow this way towards the river. This side, this part of the field, is probably going to get more water. And maybe it's going to be too much water and it's going to kill the old seed. Or maybe this side is going to get not enough water and so the new seeds are going to die. So that could, and or the river being on this side could give these plants more water too, because the groundwater, the water table is higher. So this won't work. I can't do this. I'm not blocking on the conditions that could affect the outcome, the river and the trees. So instead, someone says, well, maybe you could do a random sample, like this will get some of the old seed, this will get the new seed, and I go through and just randomly assign it. Okay, that could work. But really, have I really blocked for the variables could be controlling it? No, I'm really not. And if it's random, I can't go through and pick and choose and make changes. I have to let the randomness decide. And randomly, I could end up with the same type of situation. I could have too many of the new seed on one side, and so my comparison is not really going to be valid. I could end up having huge variances when I compare the two. So instead, what I do is I divide my field this way. I put the new seeds on top, the old seeds on the bottom, or vice versa. It doesn't matter which. And what happens is some of the new seed are going to be exposed to the river, and some of the new seed are going to be exposed to a tree. Some of the old seed are going to be exposed to the river. Some of the old seed are going to be compared to the trees. Now, I could go even further than this. I've blocked now according to the river. Some of the new seeds are exposed to the river. Some of the old seeds are exposed to the river. Some of the new seeds are exposed to the trees. Some of the old seeds are exposed to the trees. Maybe there's the kind of, I think it's walnut trees that put out a toxin that can kill other plants. I think, oh, oak. Maybe it's oak. I also may want to block it a second way. I may want to block it this way also. So I have new seeds by the river, new seeds by the trees, old seeds by the river, old seeds by the trees. And this way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare old to new if they're in the shade, and old to new if they're next to the river, they get more water. And maybe I'm going to monitor moisture content, how much went into that. I'm going to collect more data in order to do a better comparison. But yeah, this is something I use for AP stats that goes off the idea of blocking, that I'm blocking on variables that I cannot control in order to take their effects out of my equation. I can't control where the river goes, but I can block based on where the river is. I hope that explains the difference between control, comparison, and blocking. Okay. Good luck.